There's usually nothing very exciting to talk about when it comes to softboxes, but this 35-inch softbox right here is the Aputure Light Dome version 2, which I think is not any average softbox. Now, when many people look at this softbox, they are instantly taken aback by how expensive it is. The Light Dome 2 is going to cost you $220, which for a softbox is a lot of money. Initially, I also thought that this was a bit too much money to spend on a single softbox until I got around using it. Now, this along with my Aputure 120T that's mounted on it right now, is a combination that I absolutely cannot live without. And if you ask me now, I would tell you that the Light Dome 2 is worth every single penny. Let me show you why. So when you purchase a softbox, it comes in this carrying case. So yes, it does pack down into this very small travel-friendly package. Now let's get the actual dome out. So this is the actual dome itself collapsed. Inside the dome is the inner diffuser that I've already attached and left in there. It also comes with 2 sheets of diffusion material, a thin one and a thick one. Here I have the thin one attached to the dome. This is the thick diffusion, and it also comes with a grid. Wasn't expecting it to flop out, but since it already did, this is the grid. And last but not least, this is the gel holder. More on this later on. So that is a lot of accessories, but that is not the main reason why I think the Light Dome is worth its value. The main reason why I think it's worth its price is down to how much time it saves you. It's incredibly fast and easy to set up, and that is thanks to 2 things. Number 1, all the rods are permanently attached and they are collapsible. Now there are 16 of these rods, so if you were to go ahead and insert them one by one like you would do with a conventional softbox, that would take you a ton of time. Now Aputure has clearly thought that through. So on the Light Dome 2, the way you set it up is from the back of the unit, you just grab a rod and pull it upwards until you hear it snap into place. So you do that with all the remaining rods, which really just takes you under a minute. So once all the rods are set, you just close up the fabric with Velcro, and it attaches via a Bowens mount. So this will work with a lot of lights, not just Aputure's own lights, as long as they have a Bowens mount. Okay, now here's point number 2. You can leave all the diffusion, including the grid, in place when you stow it away after setting it up for the first time. So what that means is you can literally just pop this thing open and you are good to go. You do not have to remove the diffusion attachments every time you keep it away and reattach them the next time you set it up. So while we're here, let's talk about the diffusion. I'm just gonna rip this off so you can see what's inside. This is the inner diffuser. It's made from this felty material, kind of like the same stuff they make recycled bags out of. Point is, it is not the strongest material. As you can see, one of the attachment points for mine here has already snapped. It attaches to the actual dome via 4 Velcro tabs. So the whole thing is actually removable, as you can see here. But yeah, just be a little more careful, especially with the inner diffuser, because it is a little fragile. And it would also be a good idea for Aputure to perhaps ship future orders of the Light Dome 2 with a few spare inner diffusers. But the inner diffuser really functions to make sure that the light hits the outer diffuser evenly, so you don't have any hot spots that can make your light look harsher. And while we're here, let's also show you how the gel holder works. Now the gel holder goes on behind the inner diffuser, so there are a lot of layers of diffusion you have to get through to either attach or remove this, so keep this in mind. So it actually clips into place, and when you want to gel your light, here I have some CTB. It's as simple as lifting that magnetic door and sandwiching it into place, and there we have a gelled light. However, the gel holder is the only accessory that prevents the light dome from collapsing. It kind of blocks the rods as they are trying to close, so when you do want to keep a light dome away and collapse it, the gel holder is something you're going to have to take out first, so that's just something to keep in mind. And we have the outer diffusers. Now this one is very conventional. It just attaches on using a ring of Velcro, and they are made from nylon. So as mentioned earlier, there is a thin one and a thick one. Based on my measurements, the thin one reduces the amount of light by about a stop and 2/3, and the thick one reduces the light by about 2 2/3 of a stop. So it's about a stop's difference between the thin one and the thick one. Personally, I find the thin one to already do an excellent job, so I rarely find myself using the thick one in favor of more light. And here is the honeycomb grid that reduces the spread of your light to a very narrow angle. It attaches the same way as the diffusion using a ring of Velcro around the edges. Now setup was very easy. It's about as easy to de-rig as well. So there's these push tabs on the back of the unit. When you push them in, it releases the rods. They are a little stiff at first, but I realized if you lift the rods a little before giving them a push, it becomes very easy and very effortless. And once all the rods are released, it's really as simple as squeezing the whole thing together and shoving it back into its carrying case. So now I use the light dome to light almost all of my talking headshots. Before that, I used to use an umbrella. Now umbrellas, although they were very convenient, they did have a tendency to spill light all over the place. So if you needed something with soft lighting but high contrast at the same time, it really wasn't the best solution. And when I needed something softer, I would set up a C-stand and hang a roll of gel off of it and shoot my light through it. But that was a very heavy setup involving a lot of stands. It wasn't very travel friendly at all, and it took a lot of time to set up. Not to mention the light was very hard to control as well. So the light dome, although it is expensive, it is fast, convenient, has a relatively small footprint, produces excellent results, and the light out of it is also very easy to control. And that for me was what justified the $220 price tag. If you're interested to get one of these, I'll leave some links down below where you can buy them from. They are affiliate links, so if you buy from those links, you are supporting the channel's future videos. So that's pretty much it for today, everybody. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.